King Charles and Prince Andrew in secret pact that could change Beatrice and Eugenie's future. For months, royal watchers have whispered about the silent war between King Charles and Prince Andrew. But this week, a new twist shattered the calm facade of the monarchy. Insiders claim Andrew struck a secret deal with the king, a pact meant to secure the future of his daughters while he surrendered almost everything else. And the timing could not be darker for the royal family, already navigating what insiders describe as a really hideous time. The revelation dropped like an unexpected thunderclap, just days after Charles celebrated his 77th birthday, and just weeks after ordering Andrew out of Royal Lodge. The Daily Mail reported that the king agreed to protect Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie in exchange for Andrew's compliance. Compliance, in this case, meant giving up privileges he had clung to with a level of stubbornness that had exasperated the palace for nearly 2 years. Royal Lodge had become Andrew's last stand, a sprawling mansion with a 75-year lease, a lease he believed untouchable. Friends said he felt betrayed, humiliated, cornered. Yet suddenly, he agreed to leave. No dramatic standoff, no press statement, no appeal, just silence. And now, the whisper suggests that silence had a price. According to royal expert Richard Eden, Andrew folded only when Charles offered him what he valued most, his daughter's security. The alleged agreement promised that no punitive action would be taken against Beatrice and Eugenie, and that, in fact, the princesses could be allowed to take on new official royal roles. The insider quote was startling in its clarity. It is, perhaps, one of the few things that His Majesty and Andrew agree on. They both love Beatrice and Eugenie. They want the best for them. But the shockwave didn't end there. Another palace insider added that the princesses would retain their positions in the line of succession, Beatrice at 9th, Eugenie at 12th, despite the heavy shadow their father's scandals cast over the monarchy. For months, critics wondered if Charles would erase Andrew's children from public life in an attempt to stabilize the institution. Yet the opposite seems true. Royal expert Ingrid Seward explained it bluntly. The king is determined to embrace his nieces. He does not want them to feel pulled in for show. He wants them doing real work. Then she delivered the line that captured the emotional core of the entire saga. It has been a hideous time for them. Really hideous. And suddenly the deal felt less like strategy and more like survival. While Andrew himself has been stripped, pushed out, and relegated to the margins of royal existence, Beatrice and Eugenie have remained uniquely untouched. Not fully working royals, but not excluded either. They occupy a strange limbo, loved by the public, respected for their charity work, yet always balancing the weight of their father's downfall. With this alleged agreement, Charles may be attempting to anchor the future. In a shrinking monarchy where age, illness, scandal, and workload all collide, Beatrice and Eugenie represent a younger bridge the king may desperately need. But royal drama is never linear. Behind the scenes, sources suggest the negotiations between Charles and Andrew were tense. Andrew reportedly insisted that his daughters had done nothing wrong, and should not be punished for his past. Charles, meanwhile, had long believed Andrew was living in denial about the damage he caused the monarchy. Their conversations, according to insiders, were emotional, frustrated, exhausting. Two men locked in a decades-long tension suddenly forced to decide the fate of an entire branch of the family. And after all the private arguing, there was one unexpected olive branch. Charles would find Andrew a new home on the royal estates and offer financial compensation. Not a lavish lifestyle, not the prestige of Royal Lodge, but enough to keep him quiet and cooperative. Still, the biggest concession was not about real estate, titles, or money. It was about Beatrice and Eugenie. Their futures had become the bargaining chip that broke the stalemate. The irony, of course, is impossible to ignore. the man who once enjoyed fame, privilege, and the Queen's unshakable affection has now reduced his legacy to a single mission: protecting the daughters he fears will pay for his own sins. But while Andrew's fall from grace continues, Beatrice and Eugenie may quietly be stepping towards something their father lost long ago: purpose inside the monarchy. Already, royal insiders report discussions about where the princesses could fit. Whether in patronages, international tours, mental health initiatives, or charity modernization projects. Both women could represent the next generation Charles wants to build before passing the crown to Prince William. It is a delicate possibility, one dependent on public acceptance, internal palace politics, and how long the Andrew scandal continues to stain the family's reputation. But one thing is clear: Charles believes they deserve a chance. And Andrew, for the first time in years, appears to have accepted the cost of giving them one. As the dust settles, the monarchy moves into its next chapter. Not triumphantly, not comfortably, but cautiously, with two princesses suddenly at the center of a story shaped by secrets, sacrifice, and the desperate hope that the sins of one royal will not define the destiny of two others. Still, the unanswered question lingers: was this truly a deal of protection, or a deal of survival? Time, and the throne, will decide.